Hi there, welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. Today is a great day. This video is filled with tons of inspiration for you. They all have a farmhouse style, but they can definitely be modified to your style. I want to thank today's sponsor, Cricut, for sponsoring this video. Beautiful thing about using Cricut smart cutting machines is that it allows you to create all these personalized projects. You can use hundreds of materials and it works by just using their design space, which comes free with your machine. You create your project right on design space and then you send it to the machine, which will cut it for you. It's so easy. All right, so we're going to start right away with this wood tag sign that I got at the thrift store. It was only $3.99 and I thought it was a pretty good deal. It's pretty solid and a good size. So I'm just going to sand down all the glitter and then wipe it all down very nicely. And I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. All right, so I'm here on design space and what I did is I took a shape that is similar to the aluminum sheet that I'm going to be using. It is actually a 5x7. So I made sure that I have the right size. Here it says 5x7 up here. So then I picked a design from Design Space and I already have it the size that I think will look really good on the aluminum sheet. So now I'm going to delete my shape and I'm going to stick to my design. Now I'm going to make sure that up here where it says basic cut, I am going to click and I'm going to choose engrave. All right, so I removed the yellow film that is on the aluminum sheet and now I'm going to place it on my strong grip mat and I'm going to try to line it up as close as possible to the line so that I know exactly where it's going to be. And then I'm also going to use some masking tape to just tape off the edges real close just to make sure that it's not going to move on me. So going to be switching my blade to an engraving blade and this is the number 41. All right, so I have my engraving tip right on there and then I have my mat where it needs to be. Now it's time to start engraving. I also got these veneer sheets from Cricut. They are 12 by 12 and they actually come 2 in a pack and they come in different finishes. This is the maple finish. They're very thin and easy to work with. So I'm just going to cut using the rotary cutter and Cricut's cutting mats. And I'm just going to cut leaving about a ½ inch on each side, give or take, maybe 1/4 inch. Then I'm going to take my crop-a-dile and I'm just going to make 1 hole in each corner of the aluminum sheets. And these are really easy to cut through using the crop-a-dile. And then I'm going to take this wreath form that I got at the dollar spot at Target and I am going to just screw it in with 2 screws towards the top of the tag. And then directly underneath the wreath form, we are going to start placing the veneer first. No glue or anything, just placing it on top. And then the aluminum sheet with the engraving on it. And then I'm going to take these tiny little small black screws and just screw 1 in each corner of the aluminum sheet. And that's it. Isn't that beautiful and so easy to make? I love the engraving. It's very subtle and it's just very different from anything I've done. I've never engraved with my Cricut machine and I'm so glad I did. I love it. For the next thrift store flip, I'm going to take this little vase. It was $99 at the thrift store. I grabbed it quickly. I love the form and I just love the size. So I'm going to give it 1 coat of this mixture of spackle and chalk paint. If you have followed me for a while, you know that I love using this little mixture. You basically just mix some spackle with some chalk paint or any paint and it gives it a very thicker texture. So for the next project, I'm going to be using smart vinyl. With the smart vinyl, you can actually put directly on the Cricut machine to cut. But because I already used some of the vinyl, I am going to just go ahead and put it on a mat. You can do that as well. And then I have my design already designed and made, and I am just going to cut it. I cut this design that I already had a design on my own, and I actually do have it on my Etsy shop. You can purchase it as a decal in black or white. So if you're interested, head on over to my Etsy shop. It is linked down below. So I cut this design as a stencil, and that's when you weed the design out of it and then you stencil it using paint. And as you can see, I didn't leave, or I left it pretty just with one coat with the paint because I wanted to have a little bit of a faded look. Then I am going to use some of this burlap ribbon. I'm going to fold it in half, hot glue it to each other, and then I'm going to hot glue it to the neck of the vase. To finish it off, I'm just going to place some of these faux greenery. I love these grasses. I love that I can get them on Amazon, and they're just very inexpensive, and it looks very fresh. And look how beautiful this vase looks. I absolutely love it. Friends, I want to let you know that today's video is in collaboration with Courtney from Creative on the Cheap. She has an extremely amount of talent and so many beautiful creations on her channel. I am going to also have her information, her link to her channel down below in the description box. So make sure you go check her out as well at the end of this video. For the next thrift store flip, I'm going to take this pizza, it's like a party playset. And I just thought it was pretty cool looking. I like that it was very sturdy, very thick. And I'm just going to sand down the bottom to remove all the stains and clean the inside of it to remove any dirt that it may have. And then I'm going to tape all the edges. And this took forever. So I'm going to speed it up quite a bit. Because I do want to leave the wood tone the way it is. It's actually in really good shape, and I like that wood tone. So I'm just going to tape it, and then I'm going to give the inside as well as just the outside border 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. I do want to remind you that if you have not visited my Amazon store, I always have it linked down below in the description box. You can visit it. I have my favorite items, including this brush that I'm using, which is really cool. And so anyways, check it out when you have a minute. So I removed the tape, and I noticed that some of the edges needed to be retouched. So I'm just going to do that very quickly. And then I'm going to take some of this faux leather that I do have on my Amazon store as well. And I'm going to cut 1-inch strips using the rotary cutter and the cutting mats. I am going to place these one on each side of the box. We're going to create a little decorative tray. And we are going to leave them about 2 inches from each side. And we're going to tack them in place with some thumbtacks from the Dollar Tree. This design I got off of Design Space on Cricut, and I'm actually going to use this one now as a decal. So it's when you remove all of the excess vinyl and leave the design on the paper. Then I'm going to use some transfer tape and remove the backing, and then we're just going to place it on the larger portion of the tray. I contemplated using some other decals on the 3 little boxes, but then I decided not to. I felt it was going to be too much, and you know I love simplicity, so I left it like that. But let me know, should I have added maybe on the middle one or the 2 on the sides? I don't know. I just love the way it turned out. I did touch up the paint a little bit because the transfer tape did pull some of the paint. But look how beautiful, fresh looking this looks. So I have this sign that I made a very long time ago, probably about 2.5 years now. And although I really love it, I just want to do something different with it. So I'm going to keep everything the way it is because I love that distress that it already has. And I love the hanging rope. Everything is going to be fine, except I'm just going to try to put some fabric on it. And this is from another DIY that just never sold. And so I just took it apart. I had some glue on it and that. but we're just going to cut it. We're going to cut a piece from it. Once again, I'm using Cricut's rotary cutter as well as the cutting mats, and I'm just going to cut the excess sides to remove any glue, the old seams, and then also to have a size that fits my board. All right, so for this next cut, I am actually going to be doing heat transfer vinyl. So something to keep in mind is that when you go to make it, you want to make sure that the actual design is flipped. So you want to have the mirror, you see this right here, the little mirror part on, because that way it's going to cut it kind of like backwards, and that way you can, when you place it on your product, it's going to look as it should. I'm going to use Cricut's Easy Press, and I'm going to just iron out a little bit of the fabric because it was a hot mess. And once I have it where I need it, we're going to start applying the vinyl. So here's what it is, what it looks like when you weed out and when you remove the excess vinyl from a heat transfer vinyl. It is my favorite. I love it. And then the paper, the plastic has the stickiness to it, so it actually sticks to whatever surface you're working with. So I'm going to place some parchment paper underneath as well as on top. And then I'm going to use the settings that I got off of Cricut's website. It tells you, it asks you like what material you're using and what heat you should be using. So I set it to the settings, and then I heat pressed it on. I did it twice because one side I needed to do first and then the other. And then I repeated the same process for the little compass that I cut. Throughout the video, I have shown you 4 different techniques that you can use using Cricut supplies and products. The engraving, which was my first time doing, and I loved the stencil vinyl, the decal vinyl, and also the heat transfer vinyl. I love using all of them. Let me know in the comment which one is your favorite to do or which one you would love to try. All right, so I'm almost done with this one. I'm just going to remove the plastic film from it. And it's so satisfying seeing the design right on that fabric. So I'm just going to place it on top of my board. And then we are going to take some of these push pins that I get at the Dollar Tree. And they're like little balls on top, and they're black. And I thought it would be really cool to just place them. But I am going to hot glue the corners to the board. That way it'll be a little bit more secure. And then we're going to use the push pins. I also want to remind you to check out my Instagram page. I do post daily and sometimes things that I don't post here on Instagram. So I'd love to connect with you there if you have an Instagram page. And I also have a Facebook page. So check me out there as well. It is all linked down below. And one more thing, I always say it is linked down below in the description box. And I want to show you here in this video how easy it is to access it if you're looking at a mobile phone or a tablet. You see the little arrow right here. I'm going to show you again, right there. You just push that, and then the description box will appear on the bottom. So that's how you find it. This is it for today, my friend. Look how beautiful this one turned out. I can't even choose a favorite, but you're going to have to let me know which one is your favorite. If you are visiting for the first time, or if you are coming by from Courtney's channel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you consider joining our YouTube family as well. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I also want to thank Cricut for sponsoring this video. I love Cricut supplies. I love using their cutting machines. And if you do not have any other supplies or cutting machines, you can always check out the link down below in the description box. It is my affiliate link, and you can always take a look at the products there. I am going to have a playlist here with tons more of inspiration for you. Make sure to click on one of them. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.